Hey everybody, and welcome to the final X-Wing final battle report from the Linköping Regional. This is Michael Dennis from the 186 Squadron podcast, and I'm here with Alex Burt,
Hello.
the host of the 186 Squadron podcast and X-Wing extraordinaire.
I wouldn't go that far. Oh, it's nice to be doing it the other way around for a change.
Thanks for coming along and doing this with me, Alex.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thank you for inviting me.
So we were doing some of the regional commentary last year as well, and it's always a joy to come and watch Christopher's games.
Yes, and this time we get to see the rock placement as well, which is interesting. Two quite different lists, and they all seem to have very big rocks. So it's interesting that they're both going for a clustered battlefield here. I'm wondering which of the players has got it right, to be honest.
Indeed, I think. Both Imperialists, but very different takes on Imperials. Obviously, Christopher's gone for the Imperial Alpha list, but then he sort of actually compromised on his third chip and dropped it down to Sabak with guidance chips.
Yes. Hey, free guidance chips. Why wouldn't you?
Why wouldn't you put it on everything? Exactly.
So
this is yeah. No, it's interesting that he's got harpoon missiles on quick draw. That's a big change, and crack shot on quick draw invader as well. So it's not the traditional Imperial Alpha list that we saw a lot of around 3-4 months ago.
No, but then the crack shot kind of balances out not having guidance chips on either of them.
Oh yeah, that's interesting. Engine on Vader, I think, is the way to go if you can afford it.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely makes the mid game a lot easier with Vader. I've played a reasonable amount of the Imp Alpha as well, and it makes such a difference because there's so many turns where you think, oh, I'll just boot. Oh wait, no, I can't boost. I don't have an engine upgrade because the TIE Advance doesn't have one, which is stupid.
Yep.
The other interesting decision here, I think, is that he's got harpoon missiles on quick draw, but cruise missiles on Vader. So it'd be interesting to see how he plays into that. Like, do you reckon that's to sort of leverage that 4K and the 5 dice cruise missile?
Well, that's true. I mean, you've played with harpoons, I think, probably a bit more than I have, but the 4K into a 5 dice attack is great, but you've got, is it really but you sacrifice the if you've not got chips, then you've only got the target lock for modification.
This is true.
And so it's kind of like that argument of, is it good to have an extra dice, or is it better to have 4 fully modded dice?
Well, it's probably better to have 4 fully modded dice, but 5 with target lock and crack shots still going to hurt more often than not.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It'll definitely sting.
But then I guess, like, sometimes I've found with harpoon missiles, sometimes the harpoon condition can be sort of more of a drawback than a benefit, because the splash damage more often than not hits my own ships. It's probably just because I've been playing them badly, but I'm wondering if that's a consideration there. Christopher, if you're listening, maybe you can tell us.
Emails to 186 Squadron Podcast at 186.org.
It's just podcast at 186.org. But,
oh, so professional. I almost got it right.
Yes.
And then he's got pure Sabak, but he took all the big rocks and forgot trick shot.
Yeah, but he's got adaptability, +1. Which is actually quite important in this game.
Because of the Glaive Squadrons.
Well, they're all PS6. So Sabak's going to be moving after all of them, which could be quite a benefit. I'm quite excited to see how this game plays out, to be honest.
Yep, he's got 3 ships that can do nasty hits. Nasty hits, indeed. Which he's going to need to break through that X7 title.
Yes, and he's got no blocker as well, which is quite crucial. So
yep,
now he's going to have those evades if they want it.
He's gonna have to draw them into the rocks, get them crashing on those rocks. But I always found without Engine on Vader that I really missed it. It's just that tie advance dial turning around. He plays like he wants to be an ace, but without boost, he's just so slow at turning.
Hmm.
Obviously, you pay sort of twice the price when you're K turning or whatever because of his pilot ability.
Indeed.
Not just
So,
missing one action, but two.
so can you make out which ships are where? Because I can't quite see the
So I think
defenders.
that's the defenders are all there's. I can't see Vessery. We've got but Vader's the ship at the bottom closest to us.
Sure, because Sabak went down first and he's up the top.
Glad someone's paying attention. um, and yeah, I don't know where Vessery is. I assume he's behind the glaives.
So I can't quite see if, because it's so dark in the top corner, if they're just three in a line or. Well, I guess we'll see in a sec. That's
I guess
exciting
we'll find
stuff.
out. What do you think about this rock setup? Because if I was flying my defenders, I would be troubled about this rock setup.
Yeah, that was kind of my. Oh, there we go. That was kind of my comment about they were both kind of going for the same rock setup, and generally speaking, one player is going to be going for something quite different to the other, unless one of them has made an error. So at this point, I'm kind of wondering who has made the error. I'm thinking maybe it might be Archibald.
Yeah, I inclined to agree with you because I like when I'm playing the defenders, I like lots of straight lines and lanes and stuff, and this just looks like a bit of a mess to me.
Yeah, because there's so many avenues that can just be cut off from the K10 or sort of made to be decent escape routes for the aces.
Yep. Obviously, if you want to benefit from that X7 title, you want to be doing these big three turns and straight maneuvers and stuff. And well, these asteroids blocking those lanes make that very difficult to leverage.
Yeah, so I mean, at this point, Archibald can do a fast move now and hope that Christopher goes in hard, or if I mean, it looks like if he does a slow move, he's not really going to fit in any of the three or faster moves from this angle.
But yeah, exactly. So he can either sacrifice his evades for position, or he can I don't know. He could K turn and turn around, sort of, or K turn to stall.
But then with
Um,
well, I'm going to find out.
oh, he's gone.
Ooh, it's
Okay, so he's
turning
gone for hard
round.
ones. That's really
That's nice.
ballsy.
I like the bait and switch there.
True, but he's turning his back on the. Oh no, not all of them. That one's claiming a rock in the name of the Empire.
Or is he okay? I think he's okay.
Nope, he's rolling dice.
Okay, sure. Looks like a focus, I think.
That's see, this is bad times
Hmm.
because you're if Chris is coming hard here and gets like sort of gets some opening salvos off, Archibald's got no actions. And now he's got two stressed defenders. I mean, that's a huge play to catch Sabak.
Well, if you can get an early kill on Sabak, then that kind of puts the tempo of the game in his favour. And Sabak's coming right in there, so I mean he's going to be taking unmodified shots for one of them now, I guess. So yeah, this is definitely advantage Christopher at this point.
Yep. Oh, I bet he's wishing he came in faster with the other two though.
Yeah, but then I mean, if he sets up a barrel roll, if he barrel rolls with quick draw now, then he's got a pretty tasty cruise missile shot for the next round, potentially.
But Quick Draw's got the harpoons.
Indeed. Well, then he doesn't need to worry about going fast because harpoons are fine.
Exactly. So if he can get a shot off now and get that target lock set up for next time, that's going to be tasty. Especially seeing as if they're going to do a green maneuver, those two are going to be flying forward straight, which is going to, I think, incentivize Archibald to tear away the one that Quick Draw locks. If he's going to get harpooned, you don't want them while flying in formation.
Exactly. And now Vader is able to probably come in and get shots next turn as well, or definitely the turn after, which is quite exciting.
Oh no, both out of range. Upsetting.
But then Sabak gets to shoot, so that's good. I'm assuming he's going to shoot the
That is
one that's
good.
on the rock.
I think you'd be mad not to, but
Well, we say good, not that we're biased or anything.
but yeah, getting a hit on Sabak here as well is, or getting damage on Sabak is big because obviously it turns off his pilot ability.
Oh, and he just spent his focus as well. Bold.
Very bold. Was that
So
did he?
I think he just took a shield.
He did indeed.
So is he going to take any damage in return?
Range 3. Unmodified dice are dice of disappointment.
Indeed. Always modify your dice. Or, if you're not, then don't expect them to be good.
Yeah. Stay in school, modify your dice.
Oh, there was no planning phase at all. What happened? Oh, it's edited video.
If only real life was so efficient.
Indeed.
So is he just jumping 4 forward there? That's what it looks like to me. And
Yeah.
2 forward from Vessery.
2 from Vessery. So no evade, so nice juicy target for those missiles.
Indeed. Oh, this one looks like he's doing the K turn. See, now in my mind, when I was flying defenders, see, the problem here is that they're all kind of going out of formation, and you can't get them all with guns on target.
Yeah, I mean that's the big problem with them. You need to have at least 2 of them shooting the same thing.
Yeah.
Well, to really kill anything in this environment.
And that's the problem with the rocks and the stress and things like that. Is it sort of forces you to, because their dials are they're fine, but obviously they're not super good at clearing stress, or it makes them very predictable. They need these big open spaces to sort of, I don't know, leverage their big maneuvers and sort of stay in formation.
Yeah.
Less so with individual ships, but if you want to have 2 of them pointing at the same target or staying in formation, you need sort of the space to keep them there.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy, what I'm seeing now, this one that Sabak's bumped it to the back of, is that he's not going to be able to do the hard 3 towards Chris's aces next turn. If he K-turns, he'll be back on the rock. If he does a hard 3 the other direction, he's pointing away from the fight. So then he's going to have to do a short maneuver, and he's going to miss out on that evade, which is pretty critical to sort of keeping them alive, I think.
Ooh, nice little. Was that a sloop?
Yeah, ballsy sloop from Sabak.
Very nice.
He's like, how would you like 5 dice to the face? I can't mod them, but...
Well, 5 dice is 5 dice.
Yep, that's what Chris thought when he put engine upgrade instead of chips on Vader.
Indeed.
I was always too scared. I was running chips on Vader. I'm like, if I'm taking Vader for a torpedo, I'm gonna have chips to make sure it's really good.
Well, that makes
And I
sense.
still wind up with 2 hits.
So
Because I wind up K-turning anyway and not having the focus.
I guess this is a difficult choice. So do you go all in with the missile and only have a target lock and then run the risk of doing damage to Sabak? Or do you just focus, get the lock with the fire control system and then try and set up a big hit next turn? I guess we'll find out shortly.
I think oh, maybe not if Vader's turning away like that. I was going to say I think the temptation would be to try and take the wounded defender off the board so that Sabak doesn't take the shot. But but if Vader's turned away, I don't think he's got the guns for it anyway.
Yeah, but then Sabak's only taking 1 shot, so it's not too bad. I guess his target lock there. Yeah,
He doesn't have
bad.
a focus, and he doesn't have lightweight frame either.
He does have oh no, Sabak doesn't have lightweight frame. This is true. But I mean, it's unlikely that he's going to die in this round.
And still for 22 points, Sabak doesn't need to do a whole lot of damage to be worth his worth his weight anyway.
I've played him a bit, and I tend to find he's very much like kind of more annoying non-formational bigs. Harpoon missile. Oh dear.
3?
3, not too bad. That looks like none. 1.
I see 2 paint.
Oh, 2 paint. Crack shot.
So 2 hits go through.
Yeah.
And our glaive is down, shields down. I think. Oh no, it looks like just 1 hit went through.
Yeah, it was 2 paint and the evade, and then crack shot for 1.
Right. Yeah. Okay. I thought it was a focus.
3 hits, not too bad.
Some symbols.
Yeah, the glaive's just gone down to 0-0, which I'm not entirely sure is correct.
Well, he would have taken an extra damage. If there's a crit in there, he would have taken an extra damage from harpoons, right?
Yeah. Wow.
So if he was on 4,
wow,
3 damage plus. If that was just focus symbols on those dice,
yeah,
that's 3 damage plus the harpoons. Takes him right out.
Sorry, it's kind of hard to see with the
yeah,
the lighting on here. Also, is that a little crate skull next to the middle glaive squadron's point valley?
It's dead. That's what that means. And Defender's K turning off the screen.
Yep. That
so that's I mean, Sabak took 1 damage there. That's incredible. Vader's not even used his crews yet.
No. And Quick Draw still has shields. Oh dear.
Suddenly things aren't looking so good for our jesting defenders.
No. And Sabak is going to give that defender a very bad time, I think.
This just in, from the finals of the Linköping Regional, Sabak solos defender list. Man of the match. I'm going to start trying to put him back into my lists.
For 22 points, he is definitely not bad. I was actually considering running him with Kylo for a bit. I just haven't quite gotten around to trying it.
Yeah, you see, I just, it's the fluffy in me. I'm gonna get kicked out of the squadron now. I'm like Rogue One and The Force Awakens or whatever. The Last Jedi. No. It's what happens when that filled you see and all the fluffy rubs off on me.
Yeah. Oh, it's the downside to killing ships too fast. You waste your target lock actions with Vader. It's very sad.
Vader's like, yeah, let me benefit. Come on, man.
Yeah. Oh dear.
Oh, that's a nice roll. Paint. Or is it all eyes?
Well, I mean, he spends his tokens, takes nothing. But now he's got no tokens, and yeah. Oh,
Vader's
interesting. Just using the primary weapon.
I think Vader did a 3 turn, right? So maybe he's waiting. He wants to get all the dice.
Yeah. Well, do you do 2? That would make more sense, actually. Looks like it's all eyeballs. Oh. Loose stabilizer.
Investor is down to 1 hull. Ouch.
Man.
And then Sabak is like, I can solo this list. God. Wow,
Oh no.
doesn't even roll the first dice. Oh wow. So I mean, I think this is a very brutal way of sort of proving the point I was making about the lack of lanes and the lack of space to keep them information.
Yeah, I mean, unless this last defender ends up soloing all of Christopher's list, which I'm not saying it's impossible, it's just very unlikely. Have a feeling that this game was kind of lost from the turn 0 stage, really.
Yeah, agreed. If it's
commentary in
Sabak
hindsight is
Vader versus the glaive, I could see like a big comeback potentially, but
Mm,
quick draw with like all his health
yeah.
seems like a challenge.
Hmm. But I mean, Sabac's not getting his extra dice anymore, so there is that.
It's small commiserations.
Yep.
Oh, barrel. Yeah. Yeah, I think that that opening. I mean, this is one of those things where he took a huge risk to try and take Sabak off the board, and Sabak's still there, so
Yeah,
there's st-
unfortunately, did not pay off.
yeah.
And disengaging Sabac, not another cheeky sleep.
No, it is a cheeky sleep.
Oh, it is a cheeky sleep. Excellent.
I got your number, Chris. If we ever play again, Sabak sleep for days. I'm not gonna fall for that. That's another good place for. Oh no, it's a butt gun.
Yep, it has a
Butt
rear
gun.
firing arc.
Oh no, no need to K-turn here.
Nope.
We've just got. Oh dear. Well, at least you can't get cruised at range one, right?
I mean, that is true. That is definitely true. Oh. See, now I'm pretty sure when I play defenders, they don't die this fast. It's very unfortunate.
Yeah, I feel like when I play against them, it's quite difficult.
Mm. On
I
a
don't
more
know
serious
why
note,
Vader
though, I was.
barreled like.
Sorry, carry on.
I was just saying I don't know why Vader barreled like that. Setting up.
Lining up with the shot for next turn.
If he wants to attack that asteroid,
He's got turns, it's fine.
he's in no rush. What were you gonna say, Alex?
That I think triple defenders actually might not be a bad shout at the moment, because they have the hit points, the agility, and the token stacking to be able to soak a couple of missiles, and missiles seem to be all of the rage at the moment. I mean, obviously not in this game, but in general.
The harpoons, you mean?
Mm.
The harpoon meta. So you'll see though, now that the resistance bomber is out, it's going to be the. So I thought the defender had K turned there. Clearly, I was wrong because he just turned in the opposite direction
Yes.
to the way I thought he was.
To be honest, I was thinking maybe like blast over the rocks to try and catch him off guard, but
Archibald is quite liberal with his use of hard ones. I think when I flew triple defenders at the UK Nationals, and I must have played like 10 games or something. I don't think I ever did a hard one maneuver with any of them.
they really catch people off guard. Like I've had people do it to me, and I've just been like, "Huh, did not expect that."
Yeah, the price you pay is so high. You really need to be judicious, I think. Like, pick your moment.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think with that engine, it would have been a lot easier to pin Vader down. I mean,
Yep.
if he had 3 defenders, then it would have been reasonably easier to pin Vader down.
Vader with an engine is sort of is a different beast, really, to Vader without engine.
Mm.
He's much more sort of like a one-shot sort of missile carrier without engine, and then he can become a nuisance in the end game because he's still worth a bunch of points, and you want to kill him, and he's stacking tokens every round.
Yeah.
But his damage output is just significantly reduced.
Thrust control fire. Oh dear, this defender is not having a good time.
I hope you didn't need your actions.
Yeah. Wondering if at this point he's just sort of resigned himself to the inevitability of it all.
Yeah, I mean it's those 3 shields on quick draw that kind of make this feel a bit like a a miracle.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
good.
if he can survive this round, Like Sabak and Vader aren't going to be shooting him many times after this, so you never know.
Well, hopefully he can get back off the board at long last. It only cost him two-thirds of his list.
Yeah.
I've had games like that where I sort of make a big play to try and take something off the board or take out my biggest threat, and it doesn't pay off at all. And then I clearly losing the game from that point onwards, and I'm like, just give me that one ship.
Yeah.
Just let me
And then
pull
you
up that one ship I wanted to get in the first place.
obsess over it, and then when you finally
They have
get it,
that.
you can just claim the moral victory. It's fine.
Exactly. Of course, the moral victory doesn't win you a flight to Worlds.
No, but then neither does this one.
Oh, that's true. But it wins you a plaque and prestige.
Trophy and a place at Worlds.
And as we all know from the World's ticketing system, a guaranteed place at Worlds is actually really important.
Oh wow, and that is game because the back has just. Or was that quick draw that just killed the defender?
I think it was quick draw at range 3, but
God, unlucky. That was just brutal.
wow, that was brutal, huh?
That was brutal. So
That is not how I expected that to go at all.
No. I mean, I was expecting, to be honest, I was expecting it to be brutal, but I wasn't expecting the defenders to die that fast. I was expecting a bit more of a slog. But wow, well done, Christopher, and yeah, thank you for watching and listening to us witter on whilst they played and destroyed each other.
If you enjoyed this game of X-Wing, you should definitely subscribe to Christopher's channel if you haven't already.
Yep. So thanks everyone. I'm Alex Burt and
I'm Mike Dennis.
Of the 186 Squadron podcast. Thank you very much.
Have a nice evening. Or day. Damn it.
Oh.
This is why I'm not allowed to do these things anymore.
Yeah.